Hey, everybody. Hello, hello, world. Happy Friday. How's everybody feeling around the world? If it's still Friday, maybe it's very, very early Saturday morning for you. But for me, it is 9 o'clock in the morning. And I see lots of stuff happening in the chat here already. People are chit-chatting, saying hello, hello. I'm getting a howdy and a hi and highs and how are yous? I'm doing well. I'm a little tired. It's been kind of I don't know if it's been a long week. It's been a week and it's Friday. I'm ready for the weekend. Yomara's asking me if I'm sleepy. Yeah, I'm feeling a little sleepy, but I'll be okay. I'll be fine. Yeah. I'll just keep drinking my coffee. And you guys will have to keep me sharp today, okay? Javier Vargas saying good morning from Colombia, or Colombia. We got India here. All right, who else is here? So obviously we got some old faithfuls, some regulars in here. French Leo's there. Rosa, Mona Dream. Good to see you. All right. And if you're new, say so in the chat. If this is your first time, Vincy Grigorov, what do you mean you were threatened? Steve Lynn, you're going to cheer me up? Thanks. I look tired? That's nice. Yeah. So if it's your first time, let us know. Dreamcatchers from Poland. We've got Vita from Kiev. Luciana's just popping in. She can't stay, but it's good to see you just for a couple minutes. Mevra Temel is your first time. Well, welcome. Yeah, I'm doing okay. It's Friday morning here in Vancouver. The weather in Vancouver is terrible. It is pouring rain outside, but I am safe and warm and dry in here with you. Or, well, in here by myself with all of you. Madiha from Pakistan. Hello, hello. What's that white patch on my head? That's a birthmark. My hair's just a little bit white there. Or maybe these live streams are making me go gray. You think? I don't know. Maybe it's chalk. Yeah? All right. So, you seek solace in my smile. Well, I hope I can provide a little bit of solace for you guys. Yeah, there are parts of Canada that are experiencing floods. Not in Vancouver. We're getting a lot of rain, but no flooding here. All right. So if you're new, if you have no idea what's going on, I am Shaun, and I am going to be your teacher for the next hour or so. Okay? I'm here every Friday morning. It is 9 o'clock Vancouver time. I'm coming to you from the Canadian College of English Language in downtown Vancouver. I'm funnier when I'm tired. Yeah, I bet. Funnier to watch, for sure. Okay, so we're going to get into it. For anyone who is new, this is an intermediate level class, kind of middle level, right? Not advanced, not beginner, right in the middle. But of course, everybody is welcome to join, okay? If it's a little bit easy for you, a little bit difficult, that's okay. You guys are, you're all welcome to hang. All right, so let's get into it, okay? Let me jump into the lesson here. Okay, let me get that out of there. Where are we? There we go. There I am. I was meant to be a teacher from birth? Yeah, maybe. All right. So today, because I've had a few questions about this, today is going to be a day that we're going to go back to some basics today, okay? A basic lesson on something that seems simple, but it's something that a lot of students have trouble with and make mistakes with. But we're going to start with the basics. I'm not going to tell you what we're doing yet. Okay, you may have. I'm not sure if it went up on YouTube to say what the topic was, because I'm going to ask you to do something for me first. Now, I did a lesson on this topic almost a year ago, probably last summer, but it comes around again. It happens that way. So for the 120 level, the intermediate level in units 9 and 10, right? This is a part of the writing section, although it's not just a problem or a lesson on writing. It's a general lesson that you can use for speaking as well. Okay, so before anything happens, I'm going to see if you can look at a series of pictures, and maybe some of you have seen me do something like this before. This is one of my old tricks. Okay, I'm going to show you a series of pictures, several pictures in a row, and I want you to tell me what the pictures were. Okay? I want you to tell me how many images, how many photos can you remember when they're all done. Okay? So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it real quick, and then in the chat, okay, I want you to tell me what pictures you saw. Okay? Yeah, Rosa remembers this one. Yeah, this was a long time ago when I actually taught a lower level class one day for Mark, my old buddy Mark. All right, so we're going back to this basic lesson for today. Okay, and what we're doing today, we're going to continue next week with it, and it will get a little bit more advanced as we go. Okay, so we're going to start with the basics. It's a memory test. Here we go. Are you guys ready? Here we go. There. How'd you do? Yeah, too fast? What did you see? What did you see when I flashed all that stuff across the screen? How many images can you remember? Right? Was that too quick? I don't know. What can you remember? What was the first picture? Yomara says dog. I'm all thought he saw pizza. I don't know if you saw pizza. People saying moon, dog, banana, ice cream, fruit and vegetables. Way too fast. Way too fast. Yeah? Too fast like this? Right. Dog, palace, fruits, castle, a girl. Okay. Just Vivek just remembers me. That's it. All right, yeah. Group of people, the moon, people, a fat cat. All right, so yeah, right. I went through pretty quick. And this is what I showed you. Coffee, a building, nice one. Wow, lots of stuff coming in the chat. This is good. Good. All right, so let me show you. What you saw was a butterfly on a dog's nose. That was the first picture. There was a butterfly sitting on a dog's nose. Hey, Kristen A got it. A dog with a butterfly. Good. The next one was coffee, right? Coffee. You could say some coffee or a cup of coffee. Any of those things. Trey got a hamburger. Good. Moon on sea, Devrim is saying. Good. All right. The next one was a cheeseburger. I mean, hamburger, cheeseburger. If you said a delicious cheeseburger, I would take that too. Okay. This is good. Jose, you said hamburger. That's good for you. Yeah. Zaid says the next one is orange, or maybe, Shaun's house. A castle. Not Shaun's house, but a castle, or some of you said a palace, right? A palace, right? Good. That's pretty good. The next one was ice cream. Many different kinds of ice cream, right? I don't know the different flavors, but you had lots of different ice cream there. Good. Sway Julian said burger. Rahel Moon on sea. Ice cream, some ice cream. 6, I mean some friends. People, you said. Vivek saw one. Of all those people, Vivek saw one beautiful girl. Yeah. Right, a beautiful girl whom he loves a lot. All right, moving on. The last one, as some of you said, Rahel, you said moon on sea. Oh no, sorry. First the banana. There was a banana and an orange, and then the moon and the sea. Strawberry and vanilla. Strawberry and vanilla ice cream, perhaps. Okay, so good. You guys did pretty well because I went pretty fast. Now, of course, the purpose of this lesson is not to test your ability to remember photos, right? Yeah, exactly. French Leo is wondering the purpose of the test. I am not checking you for Alzheimer's disease or or any other kind of disorder. Slanez, you did really, really badly. That's okay. That's okay, because again, the purpose of this was not a memory test. I wanted to see your answers, and Bushra already knows what I'm doing here, putting it in the chat, because some of you, when I said what did you see, you said dog, people, castle, burger. Okay. Now, what we're talking about today in class, obviously, or not, maybe not obviously, is the little things that we put before the nouns that we use in a language. Today we're talking about articles. Okay, we're talking about indefinite and definite articles. You think my computer's going to go crazy again today? Yeah, maybe. We're talking about all those tiny little words that you put in front of your nouns. Now, as I said, this is a basic lesson. What we're talking about today, we're going right back to the basics of articles, and we are going to build on that. So if you find the first part easy, that's okay. That's okay. We can always use a bit of a review or a refresher. Now, the problem, I don't mean to wag, I'm not wagging my finger at you guys. The problem is many people think articles are easy to understand and to use and to know. But it's also a very common place where students make mistakes, right? Even high-level students, because there are little mistakes that stay with you at a lower level, and as you go up in the level, you still continue to make these little mistakes with articles. Now, the problem with that is that if you were a high-level student of English making what other people think are basic mistakes, it could make your use of English look lower than it actually is. Because English teachers know articles are difficult, English students know that articles are difficult, but not everyone else does. Right? So yeah, today we're talking about a, and the. Now, I know that over here I highlighted the word some. Some is not an article, but it is a word that sometimes you have to talk about a little bit when you're talking about articles, because it is a word that students, or that we put before our nouns, right? But we're not focusing on the word some today, because some is not an article. Okay, now again, we're going back to the beginning, okay? So back to the basics. So the very first tip, this is something that, again, even high-level students, all right, I tell this to my students all the time. French Leo, yeah, some is a quantifier, right? Okay. My first article tip is, if you see a noun, if that noun, if it's a person, a place, a thing, whatever it is, if it is singular and it's countable, right? If it's countable, you can count it, and there's only one, it's singular, then it needs something before it. An article, a quantifier, a possessive adjective like my, right? So you're never going to see the word book as a noun, right? Or cup. You can never just say cup. It has to be a cup, the cup, my cup, one cup. There has to be something before it. All right, some questions coming in already, which is good. Shivaraj Patil is saying, can we use the with plural? Absolutely you can, and I'll talk about that a little bit. Aman is saying, is a quantifier the same as an adjective? No, I wouldn't say necessarily that's the same thing. Quantifier means it talks about how much, right? Some, much, many. Adjectives can talk about a range of things. So Julian is saying, singular, if it's countable, then near something like my or noun. Right, yeah, okay. I think I know what you're saying there, Julian. I think, right, you're saying, you're saying if it's singular, if it's countable, it has to have something before it, right? A teacher, your teacher, right? One teacher, as I said. Good. Okay, so that's the beginning, all right? That's the simple part. But we're going to come back to that because it's an area that students make mistakes on. Can we count an ant? Yes, you can. You can definitely count ants. I do it all the time. That's how I spend my weekend. Okay. So the first is the indefinite article. Okay, the indefinite article. Don't worry too much about the term because native English speakers, most Canadians don't know what an indefinite article is. Okay, what that means, the indefinite article is a or an. These two words are called the indefinite article, okay? And they're used with singular countable nouns. Chocolate flour, JB87. You have some chocolate flour? I've never heard of chocolate flour. That sounds interesting. French Leo is making a good point. The hardest thing is knowing if something is countable or not. And absolutely, you're right. Some of them are confusing in terms of what is countable and what is not countable. An ant full week. I'm going to have an ant full weekend? Yes, I hope so, Jerry. So Samer is asking in all caps, I don't know, maybe he's shouting at me. He says, is indefinite article nouns uncountable? No. As I said up here, good question. If you're using a or an, the noun is singular and it's countable, right? If it's uncountable, now there are going to be exceptions. There are always special cases, all right, before you start shouting at me, and we'll talk about that later. Okay. Oh, the chocolate powder is what you're talking about. Yeah, cocoa powder. Okay. All right, so as most of you know, you use a before a word that starts with a consonant, and you use an before a word that starts with a vowel. Okay? Xiomara is saying, are we going to talk about countable and non-countable? Well, we will. Yeah. Save, if you have questions about what is countable and non-countable, hang on to them, and later we'll talk about that, and you guys can ask me questions. That's a good question there, okay? So what I'm talking about here is a plus a consonant. So all of these letters, most of the letters in the English language are consonants, B, C, D, F, and so on, okay? So you use a before that. Examples, just some random ones, a beetle, a tower, a pillow, a sandwich, a fox, right? You're using this indefinite article a because of this letter here being B, okay? Yomer, I like that. I like that banana, the banana emoji. Nice touch. And of course you use an with a vowel, right? Exactly. JB87 is saying a book, an egg. Perfect. A teacher. A, E, I, O, U. These are your vowels, and you use an before a word starting with a vowel. Okay. An umbrella. An English teacher. Osman Rodriguez is saying, can you have more examples? Just specifically more examples of what? Okay, and then I'll see if I can help you out. JB87 is saying a genius, an idiot, right? Or somewhere in between. Yeah. So an umbrella, an English teacher, an apple, an ant, as Jerry is saying there, an egg, an inch. Okay? Now, of course, there are always going to be exceptions because that's what language is all about. Rules and then breaking the rules. Dreamcatcher is already a step ahead of me. So there are special cases sometimes, like you guys are saying in the chat. Right. Now, when I say vowel, and you guys are kind of calling me on it already, I'm saying a vowel, but what I really mean is a vowel sound. It's usually the vowel, but sometimes a consonant or a vowel can have a specific sound that changes the rule. Okay, so as some of you guys said, an hour, we use an before hour because this H is silent, as Bushra is saying, right? That's a silent H. You don't hear it. It sounds like there's a vowel there, so you say an hour, okay? Or an honor. It's an honor to meet you, okay? It's an honor to be here teaching you today for an hour every Friday. Okay. Another one is a university, as people are saying. So Arjun says an university. Can't say that. It's a university, because if you have the U, that sounds kind of like that Y sound, that y, as in yellow, right? Then you're just going to use a as your indefinite article. Hyun Durong is saying an SOS. Well, yes, right. A word or a letter like S or a letter like N, right? An honor. Right, Seajoy, you'd say a utopian society, a union, good one, a university, a uniform. And then, of course, very important, because you use this expression all the time, a one-eyed monster, right? Because sometimes one, right, when you think about the word one, it's an O, it sounds like a W, right? Busher saying a European car. Good. That's a good exception there too. Right. So it's all about the sound of the vowel or consonant, right? An 8-year-old girl. Jerry, that's a good one. Although I guess 8 actually does start with the vowel, right? You got the E on 8. But if you're just using that number, absolutely. Good. So a one-eyed monster. Be careful of those. Watch out for those. And make sure you're using the right article if you come across a one-eyed monster. Okay? All right, so that's the basics of the indefinite article. The definite article is the, right? When we say the definite article, we're talking about the word the. So a is indefinite, the is definite. So when we say definite, we're talking about something being more specific, okay? More certain, more known. Okay. Not sure. Oh, a universal product? Yeah, that's a good one. So the definite article, the. We use the with singular nouns, plural nouns, countable nouns, and uncountable nouns. You can use the basically with any form of noun depending on the situation and the circumstance, okay? You can say the book, the books, right? The water, and as I said, any kind of uncountable, the coffee, the sugar, the furniture. You can use it for countable or uncountable. And Suede is saying the Pacific Ocean. Now in that case, yeah, we're going to probably talk about those examples next time. The Kingdom of Bahrain. Yeah, the kingdom. The chosen one. Is that me? Am I the chosen one? I hope so. All right, so that's when we say definite article, we're talking about the, guys, okay? So the big question, or the first question, is sometimes we say, do I use the definite or the indefinite article? When should I use this and this. And again, we're starting with the basics today, right? We're going simple. You guys with the emojis. Seajoy the alien, or an alien. Okay, so the question, when should I use a or an, and when should I use the, right? So we're going to start with the simple kind of basics, as I said before. Unknown or unknown, known or unknown nouns. So basically, do you know the noun or do you not know the noun? Okay? Known or unknown is a way of deciding the or an. Okay? So basically, when you introduce a noun for the first time, if you're just talking about a random noun, usually we use the indefinite articles a or an. So the first time you mention something, you usually use a or an, okay? Usually. Again, there are exceptions. For the, you're using the for something we've already talked about, or we know what it is that we're talking about, okay? As Julian is saying, the coffee on Shaun's desk. Exactly right. So let me tell you a boring story, okay? Walking along a path, I came across a man and a dog. Good story so far, right? Walking along a path, I came across a man and a dog. So you've got, in this sentence, path, man, dog. These are all singular, and they're countable. They need something before them. So I'm going to put a there because I'm introducing these nouns to you, okay? You don't know about the man or the dog until I give you this first sentence. Okay? Now, the next part of this amazing story, the path was lined with snow-covered trees. Okay? Now, I'm using the now. Yes, it's a nice story. I'm using the because I've already mentioned the path, right? I say a path at first. Now I'm saying the path. Good. Okay. Next, I say the man was wearing a coat and a pair of boots. Now again, I say the man because I already mentioned him here. I introduced him already. So I don't say a man. Again, I say the because now it's definite. You know who I'm talking about. Okay? But if you read the rest of my sentence, now I'm introducing a coat and a pair of boots. So the man was wearing a coat and a pair of boots. Now I could continue with this story. I won't because it's not the most interesting story. Oh yeah, Rosa wants to know the end of the story. Sadly, Rosa, that is the end. That's the end of the story. That is the exciting conclusion to my story. The man was wearing a coat and a pair of boots. What is a twist? I like a twist ending, right? Okay. So of course you can continue the story and you could say the coat was long and black. The boots were made of leather. Hey, there's Omar. Omar's back. Do I miss you? I do. I miss you. It's only been like 3 weeks or something. So Seymour is asking a question. When we continue the same word, we use the. Yeah, right. Great. So Sumi's saying monkey like to eat a banana. That's good, except for monkey is singular and countable, so you need an article with monkey there. Okay? All right, so that's the basic idea. But of course, we don't always speak like this or write like this, where we say, I saw a man, the man was walking, a dog, the dog was. This isn't the most natural way that we communicate. So sometimes we talk about things that I know you know what I'm talking about. Not just because I mentioned it in the last sentence, but maybe I mentioned it yesterday or 10 minutes ago. Okay? So sometimes it's clear who or what we're talking about because we mentioned it before. The dog suddenly turned angry. Ah, Hung's story is better than mine. I want to read the rest of that story. So for example, if the question is, do you know the person or thing that I'm talking about, or do I know the person or thing that you're talking about? If the answer is yes, use the. If the answer is no, use a or an, right? So thinking back to those pictures that I showed you at the beginning of class, right? At the beginning of class, I showed you a picture of a dog. So extra points for memory. Can anyone tell me what type of dog the dog was? Right? There was a butterfly on the dog's nose. What type of dog was the dog? Okay? And how about this? Well, I wasn't so I didn't I didn't want to show you that hamburger. What was on that hamburger? Right? What was on the hamburger? French Leo is saying a Labrador? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it could be. Right? Now, I already ruined it. I already showed you a picture of the hamburger. So I can't ask that question anymore. But just remember that if I say, did you eat the hamburger for lunch? Did you eat the hamburger for lunch? Right? Then you have to know what hamburger I'm talking about. This would be very confusing if you just opened with this question. Did you eat the hamburger? I would say, well, what hamburger are you talking about? Right? Unless there was a hamburger in the refrigerator that we know about or something, that we have discussed the hamburger, right? Otherwise, you would say, did you eat a hamburger for lunch? I'm making you hungry? I know, this is a pretty juicy looking burger. I know it's a cheeseburger, not a hamburger. Yomara's yelling at me, I think. So again, for the first time, if you've never spoken about this hamburger before, you have to say a hamburger, right? If we know what we're talking about, then we say the hamburger. All right, but I'm going to get away from that hamburger, right? So, oh yeah, here was my question. What kind of dog was the dog? All right, and you guys already said, I think some of you said a Labrador. I think it was a retriever. I think. I'm not an expert on dogs. And yeah, I guess I don't know. Are you guys getting hungry because of the hamburger or because I'm talking about the dog? I'm not sure. So what kind of dog was the dog? My next question was, what was on the hamburger, right? The hamburger. And where is the castle? That castle that I showed you, right? Where was the castle? Where was it? Can you imagine where it was? Again, you know what castle I'm talking about because I showed it to you before, and therefore I'm going to use the and not a. Busher's asking if I have a dog. No, I've never had a dog. I'm not a dog owner. No, not me. I've got too many kids. Kids are enough. And they eventually take care of you. Dogs will never take, well, I guess certain dogs can take care of you, but French Leo saying in Germany maybe? Yeah, maybe it could be a German castle, even if you said in the forest, right? No pets. No, I have no pets. Okay. So special cases. Of course, there are going to be exceptions in English because that's what English is all about, right? So sometimes there are times that we use the definite article when some students think we should use a. Okay? Yeah, right. Julian, exactly. Guard dogs. Yeah. So we often say, good advice here, look both ways before you cross the street. Okay? Now, for whatever reason, in English, we say cross the street. You could say a street. It makes sense if you say look both ways before you cross a street, meaning any street. We're not talking about a specific street. But for whatever reason, we often talk about streets in the singular form with the definite article, right? Standing in the middle of the road, the street. And there are other exceptions as well, okay? Let me show you another one. We often say this: I need to go to the bank. I need to go to the bank. That's okay to say this even if I don't know what bank you're talking about, okay? Little exceptions in English, right? If you say I need to go to a bank, that's fine too. Chris is saying hi. Hi, Chris. Yeah? If you need to go to the bank or a bank, that's okay. So Rose is saying, yes, sometimes and the are both acceptable, right? Now, in the case of cross the street, I think it's more common to say the, right? Nora's asking, because the street is an obvious thing. I guess so. I mean, we say the same thing with other parts of the city, right? Around the block, right? The block, the corner. You give Shaun the chance? Well, I appreciate it. Another one is she takes the bus to school every day. Now, it would be fine to say a bus. She takes a bus, but we often talk about public transportation with the and say, I take the train, I take the bus. Okay? Because it's kind of a system of buses. You know it's going to be there at the same time every day. Well, not the bus I take necessarily, but John Jay is saying the is specific. It is usually specific, but there are always going to be special cases where we use the in more of a general sense. Okay? And Yasmina, no, you can't say some bank. Sounds strange. No, I wouldn't use that. Maybe any bank. I need to go to any bank. Right? Now again, if you say she takes a bus, it's fine. It's fine. Same here. I took her to see the doctor. Again, you don't need to know exactly what doctor we're talking about to use the doctor. It's a special case. Okay? If you say a doctor, that's okay too. Both are acceptable. Okay? What's this? Oh, the stairs. Take the stairs as well. But of course, you wouldn't use with those anyway because those are plural. Okay? How much time is left? I don't even know. Oh, we still got time. We still got like 30 minutes or so. We're only like halfway through. I know I'm talking a lot today. I'll get you guys to do some work for me in a bit, though. I think, Isa, you mean message, not massage. Maybe. Kaio's asking this. What about this sentence? The girl has looked at a bus crossing the bridge. Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about the bus as an object, right, over there, you could say a bus. A bus drove by me. Absolutely. Good. And someone's saying, if it's general, I use a. Typically, yes. Okay, now the next question is when to use an article or no article, right? So sometimes we're confused about definite or indefinite, right? And then sometimes we're confused about article or no article. And this question is going to take a long time to answer, more than one class, okay? So we are going to continue talking about this next week, okay? Because there are many different rules of when to use the and when to use no article at all, okay? Now, again, I'm going to talk for a few more minutes, and then I'm going to put you guys to work. Now, French Leo is saying no article equals not countable, but that's not exactly always the case, right? Because sometimes we use the with uncountable nouns, right? So, again, the question comes down to specific or general. Are we talking specifically about something, or are we talking about it in a general way? Okay? That's really the main question. So for no article, the basic rule is if you're not using an article, it has to be plural countable nouns, or uncountable nouns. But it cannot be a singular countable noun. Okay? It cannot be a singular countable noun. Sumi says she has a beautiful smile. Oh, you're still talking about the woman on the bus. Okay. She has a memorable smile, I guess. But yes, a beautiful smile. So no article, it's got to be plural and countable, or uncountable, and we're speaking about something in general, not specifically. I'm getting greetings from Peru. Hello. Specific noun, United States. Well, we say the United States, actually, not just United States. But that, what we're going to talk about next time. Okay. So, let me show you some examples. Look at those tomatoes. I like tomatoes if they are really fresh. Okay? I enjoy a fresh tomato. Tomatoes are nice if they're fresh. If I teach you one thing today, it's this. Never put your tomatoes in the fridge. Never refrigerate your tomatoes, because they taste better if you leave them out on the counter in a bowl. Right? That's way more important than English. Okay. Again, I'm talking about tomatoes in general. All tomatoes, any tomatoes, right? Tomatoes is countable, right? It's plural. But I'm just talking about them in general. Roses, yeah, right. Students are watching Shaun's class. The students are watching Shaun's class. In that case, Rosa, either one could be correct. But if you say the students, it sounds like you're speaking about a specific group of students that we understand who you're talking about or what students. JB87, yeah, refrigerate means put it in the fridge. Yomera, you always put them in the fridge? No. Leave them out. All right, I'm not going to talk about any more about tomatoes, okay? So, I like tomatoes if they're really fresh. Tomatoes are general. Oil has gone up in price recently. Now, oil is uncountable. I'm using no article because I'm talking about oil in general, not from a specific country or a specific type of oil. Just oil in general has gone up in price. I don't know if that's true, honestly. Aaron is saying bananas are the same. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, if you're talking about putting them in the fridge, never put a banana in the fridge. That's crazy talk. All right. And of course, let's generalize here. Brazilians love to watch soccer. All Brazilians, 100% of Brazilians love to watch soccer. I don't know about that, but it's a general statement, right? Brazilians, countable, right? They're very countable. You've got 5 Brazilians there on the screen, and they all love to watch soccer. So Vivek is saying again, why no articles with tomatoes? Because if it's plural and countable, but we're talking about it in general to mean all or any tomatoes, all and every Brazilian, then we use no article. Okay? And Rosa Casiero is saying American people or the American people. That one you could say either one. Right, Yasmina, you're on the right track there with that. Good. So, again, this is in general. But remember, you cannot use a singular noun with no article. And I keep wagging my finger at you guys. Yeah? You've done something wrong. So, the definite article, now I'm going to show you a contrast here. Now, Mona Dream, you're saying, I like the cooked tomatoes. Now, you can only say that if you're talking about specific tomatoes. Now, let me show you. Okay. The. You can use it with plural countable nouns or uncountable nouns specifically. When you're talking about something, just like we said before, do you know the person or thing that I'm talking about specifically? Then I would use the. Okay? Now, as a contrast, to the previous sentence. Now Vivek is saying chickens are tasty. Usually chicken is tasty. Okay? Look at this delicious salad here. The tomatoes. What's going on with that line there? The tomatoes in my salad are really fresh. Now in this sentence, I'm saying the tomatoes with the article because I'm being very specific about which tomatoes. I'm not talking about all and every tomato in the world. I'm talking about these, 9 tomatoes on my plate. Okay? I'm talking about these specific tomatoes. The tomatoes in my salad are really fresh. And because I'm being specific, I'm using the article the. Javier, in Colombia, people put the banana in the fridge. Yeah, fair enough. If it's hot, you want a cold banana on a hot day. Who am I to judge you, right? Who am I to stop you? Hangover's asking the Republic of China. Yeah, and we'll talk about that next week. Right. Okay, so again, the tomatoes in my salad are fresh. These tomatoes. Now this guy, he is checking the oil. Now I'm not talking about oil in general. I'm talking about the oil in my car. I'm paying this guy to check it for me because it's important. You got to check your oil, right? So the oil. Oh, I don't know why it turned into a question. Just he's checking the oil? Well, I guess that's fine. I'll leave it. I don't know why it became a question. But in this case, the oil, again, is specific. I'm making you guys hungry again. Again, hopefully not because of the oil. And then, of course, the Brazilians are back, right? Here they are. And I say the Brazilians in my class love to watch soccer. $65 for an oil change? That's a ripoff. I don't know. Yeah. So the Brazilians in my class love to watch soccer. Now I'm saying the because I'm talking about, let me take the crazy red laser thingy. In my class. Now I'm being more specific. I'm being more narrow. So I'm using the. Okay. English articles are frustratingly difficult, JB87 says, and I understand that, yeah. I think every language has something that's frustratingly difficult. I would say, luckily, English doesn't have gender in their nouns, right? No masculine, feminine, neutral nouns. So that's, you're welcome for that. Yeah, Alash is saying I'm becoming more distracted by the chat. Yeah, maybe I am. Yeah. Okay, so now it's time for you guys to get to work. Okay? Yes, it is. I want you guys to do something for me. We've still got time. Where's my guy here? Oh, right here we go. Let me go all the way down here. I'm going to make it full screen. I'm going to hopefully make it a little bit bigger so we can see. I'm going to put some sentences up on the screen. All right? And all you need to do is decide for each letter in the sentence, do you need to put a, an, the, or nothing? No articles. Okay? A, an, the, or nothing. Julian, yeah, we're not getting to the mistake of the week yet. Okay, we've got time. Don't worry about that. So for example, you would say, I need to buy a new keyboard. Because again, you're speaking about something for the first time. You're introducing the idea, right? So you say, a new keyboard. But keyboards are so expensive these days. So I would say here, just nothing, okay? Because keyboards is countable and plural, but in this sentence, I'm speaking about it in general. All keyboards, right? Good. And some people are already getting in there, giving me their answers in the chat. Perfect. So I'm going to disappear from the screen, but I'm with you in spirit. I'm going to go up a bit to try to fit everything on the screen here. Maybe I'll go back down here. Try to zoom in all nice and close so everybody can see it. Yeah, that's good enough. Try to finish these sentences with an article. You should be able to fly through it pretty quickly. Put your answers in the chat. Put the letter next to it so I know what question you're answering. And then we're going to go over it together. Okay? All right, go for it, guys. I'm going to disappear. All right. Good, good, good. So many answers coming in on the chat. I like to see it. So let me go over some of these here. Yeah, lots of good stuff coming in. Good. Okay, so let me even zoom in a little bit just so we can all see. And even if you're not completely finished, don't worry about that. We'll go over it together because we are a little bit short on time because I just blabbed on for a good 40 minutes there, yeah? Okay. So I'll put the answers in. There's so many of them that I won't bother looking specifically for names necessarily. I'm seeing lots of stuff go through. This is great. But if you have questions, put them in the chat too, because you might be confused about some of the answers. But number 2, we said last week I read a book by an author from France. Now again, you're using the indefinite articles here. And I see a bunch of people got that right. Right? Now some of you might be confused. I mean, if Aaron, I think I saw that you said the book by the author. But for that to be the case, we would need to know who and what we're talking about. I mean, the author from France. There are so many authors from France. To say the author from France, that would have to be very specific to a conversation. Okay? You want to borrow my black shirt, Vivek? I'll mail it to you. So I read a book by an author. It's more general. Similar to that one in 3, you would say, an astronaut's job is to fly a spaceship. Now if you said fly the spaceship, that would be okay, I guess. Maybe because you're talking about an astronaut specific to a spaceship. But I think the best answer would be for both. An astronaut, a spaceship. In general, singular, countable, general. Julian wants to borrow my glasses. You guys are crazy. All right. So number 4. Again, if you guys have questions, if you're angry, if you're feeling lost and alone, let me know. So I am currently reading a novel, right? There's lots of indefinite articles here. All right. So I'm currently reading a novel. You say the novel has over 20 chapters. Let me see. I'm looking at M. Bilgin here. Your answer said the. And that's exactly right. Good for M. Bilgin. Right? A novel, the novel has 20 chapters. The chapters are about 50 pages each. Perfect. Good stuff. All right. Number 5, when I'm sad. Now this one, interesting. You've got some choices here. When I'm sad, I usually eat. You could just say, I usually eat ice cream when I'm sad. When I'm sad, I usually eat ice cream. When I'm happy, I usually eat ice cream. When I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, I usually eat ice cream. I'll come back to that one. Now, Rosa's asking, why not the astronaut? The astronaut's job is to fly the spaceship. Now, Rosa, for that to be correct, it could be correct if we are already talking about the astronaut, right? But because this sentence introduces the astronaut, then you have to use indefinite articles. Usually when you're talking about a profession, a job, you use that indefinite article, right? Shaun is a teacher. You wouldn't say Shaun is the teacher unless you were talking about this class. If you were talking about this class and you said Shaun is the teacher, then that's fine. That's good. But if you're just talking about me and my job, you would say I am a teacher, right? Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. Now getting back to number 5, when I'm sad, I usually eat ice cream. Some people said I usually eat some ice cream. That's okay too. Now kind of the curveball that I didn't think about, which is a perfect answer. Trey Brown, I think Trey, you said it. I think you said I usually eat an ice cream. Now this is the tricky bit where sometimes uncountable nouns can be treated as singular countable nouns. Okay? And yeah, Devendra is saying the same thing, an ice cream. So actually, let me explain what I'm talking about here. Let me go down here. I'll come back to that. So typically, ice cream, right? Coffee, water, right? These nouns are uncountable. You don't usually say like with these, right? Because they are uncountable nouns. But oftentimes when we are ordering one portion of this thing, we do turn it into a countable noun, okay? Although these are uncountable sometimes, they can be countable at times as well. I don't like that automatic capitalization. Okay, so an ice cream, a coffee, a water. And what this means is an ice cream cone, right? Or a cup of coffee, or a bottle of water, right? Sometimes these ways of making an uncountable noun countable, like putting it in a cup or a bottle or a cone, we don't say it, but that's what we mean. So you go into a restaurant and you say, can I have 2 coffees and a water, right? That's fine, because you can't go into a restaurant and say, can I have some coffee? Can I have some coffee and a little bit of water? Because you have to be more specific at the counter of a restaurant, right? Or a cafe. Okay, so that's kind of the tricky thing, and Trey kind of showed us that. I think it was Trey. So we said, if you said I usually eat an ice cream, that's perfectly good. Dreamcatcher saying a beer, same thing. A beer, a whiskey, whatever you want. So number 6, we said we forgot to put away the ice cream we ate for dessert. Now in number 6, you need the ice cream. Yeah, Roses. Yeah, you getting your work. You got your work cut out for you as the moderator in there. Thank you for helping out. So, the ice cream for dessert. No, Yomera, you don't say fries, because fries are plural. So you don't use with fries. Good question. Number 7. This morning I saw in the newspaper, because newspaper is one of those kind of exceptions, right? Like the street, the bus that we said before. If you said I saw in a newspaper, that's okay, but we usually would just say the newspaper, even if we don't know which newspaper you're talking about. It's one of those weird special cases. A headline, okay? I saw a headline that I didn't understand. Good. Okay, now a couple more. It's a little bag of fries. Yeah, you can have a little bag of fries. So number 8, this is a nice story. I met a really nice person last night at, I would say, the nightclub we went to. But it was really difficult to hear him because of all the people. Steve Lynn is saying one headline. No. Steve, every title of every article in a newspaper is a headline. Like you're talking about the main front page headline, but every title in a newspaper is called the headline. Hangover saying, what does skint mean? It means you don't have any money, but it's British English. North Americans, I only know that because I have a couple British friends. But yeah, we don't say that in North America. We say I'm broke. All right, number 9. Children need to drink lots of milk. I don't know if that's true. I mean, that's, some people think that, I guess, right? But children, I don't know about need to, but children often drink lots of milk. Milk is uncountable, right? It's general. Good, a couple more. 10, he always thinks about money, because money is uncountable. Now, I know that's confusing because, of course, you think you can count money. Obviously, that's what accountants do. Accountants count money, right? But they're counting the bills. Devram's got to go. Well, thanks for coming by, Devram. All right, see you next time. JB87 is telling me to ensure that my kids get a daily dose of milk. All right. I'll see what I can do. I love number 11. I love when birds fly in a pattern, right? A pattern. The pattern sometimes looks like a V. And the last one, let me get that 13 out of there. Unlucky 13. Last one, 12. W. Money in this bank account is for emergency. So I would say the money in this bank account because we're being specific to that money, that account. So money is uncountable, but it's specific. Saying, got milk? No, got coffee. Yeah. Oh, Annie's asking, what does pattern mean? Pattern means kind of like the shape of something, the order that something follows. I mean, if you think about the design on this cup is a type of pattern, okay? Oftentimes, really what this sentence is talking about is like geese. Canada geese will fly in a V shape. And that's your lesson today about Canada geese. All right, guys, so we're going a little bit long, but that's okay. I'm going to give you the mistake of the week. I don't see many questions coming in about these answers, so hopefully it's crystal clear. All right? Yeah, sentence patterns, verb patterns, exactly. So let me jump out of here, because I know that you'll never forgive me if we don't do the mistake of the week. Okay, so here we go. That was a little slow. Mistake of the week. I was trying to be, I don't know, theatrical there, dramatic. All right. Alexander, hang on. Alexander has one question. Oh, he's saying chapters is plural, why use the? Because we use the with plural countable nouns. That's why. If it's plural and it's countable and it's specific, then we use the. Okay? All right. Hangover, you're asking me a lot of questions about British English. All right, so let me go back in here. Mistake of the week. Anybody who's new to the class, the mistake of the week goes like this. I'm going to put a sentence up here, and I would like you guys to find me the mistake. Okay? Anybody, whoever finds me the mistake first is the fastest person on earth. That's all. Okay? And you get to tell your family about it at the dinner table tomorrow. Okay? So, I'm going to go to the mistake of the week. Here we go. Here's your sentence. I'm going to jump out, read that sentence, find me the mistake. I'm going to put the monkey music on, and I'll be back in 5 seconds. Go for it, guys. Very interesting, very interesting. Now, lots of stuff coming in. Who got to it first? It's kind of hard to see. Now, Trey, I thought it was you, but no, not quite. Not quite. I believe the winner today is JB87. Yeah, JB87 is the fastest draw, or has the fastest internet connection, as somebody pointed out. I think Milena Mia, you're very close there. And Steve Lynn, you came in not too long after. Dreamcatcher, yeah, some of you came around to it. Now, this is a very common mistake, particularly among the, I believe, Spanish-speaking English students. Maybe Portuguese, I'm not sure. Perhaps French, too, French, Leo, you can tell me. We are 12 in our class. Sometimes I hear students say, we are 5 in my family. Because maybe that's the direct translation, right? But the mistake, yeah, in this sentence, the mistake is that first part there, okay? And yeah, some people had a hard time finding this mistake, but we are only 12 in our class is not correct English. We don't say we are 12. If we say we are 12, you're talking about your age, right? We are 12 means that everybody in the class is 12 years old. Right? So if you say, I am 30, I am 24, right? I am 12, this is your age. Perhaps confusingly, I think in Spanish or Latin languages, Portuguese, French as well, people are telling me. Some of you say, we have 12 years old, or we have 12 years, right? When you're talking about your age. But in English, we say, I am 12, right? And we have so many people in the class. But honestly, some of you corrected it and said, we have 12 students. We have 12 students in our class. And that's okay. Yeah, je suis 12. Okay. I think the best correction, and some of you got it, you went with that instead. Rather than we have this or we are 12, you would say there are 12 of us in our class. There are 5 people in my family, right? There are 30-some million people in Canada. Luana saying hello? For you? Luana, it made sense for you? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Probably because of your native language, Portuguese, right? So when we say we are only 12, and that's why it's such a common mistake, because of direct translation. So you don't say we are. I mean, the question here for you guys to put it in the chat, how many people are in your family, right? How many people are in your family? You say, there are 5 people in my family, right? In my immediate family, the nuclear family. You're asking me to go for a 2-hour class? I wish I could. I can't do it today. Right? Yeah, don't listen to your brain, basically. Right, so Yasmina Ali is saying there are 5. There are 5 people in her family. Good one. So that's a common mistake to keep in mind. Okay? So let me jump out of here, because it is time for me to jump out. Yeah, just a second here. Painkiller's asking, why do you never find the mistake? You'll get there. Don't worry about it. Okay, guys. So went a little long today, but that's okay. It is time for me to get back to the other stuff that I have to do here at the Canadian College of English Language in Vancouver. Thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure to teach the class. All right, and we will, well, thank you guys so much. We will continue to talk about articles next week. We'll get a little bit more, more challenging, okay? So have a nice weekend, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. Let's get more people in here. The more the merrier, and as long as they're nice, okay? If they're not, Rosa will kick them out. All right? Okay, I gotta run. Keep practicing your English, guys. Keep working hard. You're doing really well, and we'll see you here same time next week. Until then, have a nice weekend. Have a good week, and take care. Okay. Bye for now. Hi everyone. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want the full experience of being a student in a Smrt Live class with things like homework and teacher feedback, follow the link and become a premium subscriber. Also, if you want to see more videos from this class, check out our playlist.